Welcome to a new episode of Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita 2023. As per section 2.4 of the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, court means a judge who is empowered by law to act judicially alone, or a body of judges which is empowered by law to act judicially as a body. When such a judge or body of judges is acting judicially. Section 20 of the Indian Penal Code, Court of Justice. The words Court of Justice denotes a judge who is empowered by law to act judicially alone, or a body of judges who is empowered by law to act judicially as a body. When such a judge or body of judges, Section 2.4 of the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita says about what is a court. Whereas in the Indian Penal Code it is known as Court of Justice. So, slight difference in the nomenclature. In the Nyaya Sanhita it is defined as court. In the Indian Penal Code it is defined as Court of Justice. In all other sense both are one and the same. Court means the judge or judges. If we go for the original meaning of the word court, just means a large area. For example, football court, volleyball court, badminton court. A square area or a large area is known as court. In ancient times, the justice delivery system or providing justice or trial be done by the king himself. So, while king will sit in the court and decide after hearing the parties. So, that place where the king is sitting, his throne, and the advocates or the persons who argue in favor and against, and the accused or those persons whose liabilities and rights are to be decided, and the common general public. All these persons are to be accommodated in one place. So, it should be a larger area. So, that is the original term court. Even now we use volleyball court or football court, things like that, larger area. When it comes to law, court means the place where the judge is sitting, and it includes more than one judge also. Suppose if a magistrate, after going home, and if an accused person be arrested and produced before the magistrate, the house where the magistrate is sitting is also a court, because as per the Indian Constitution as a fundamental right, Article 22, a person should be produced before a magistrate within 24 hours of his arrest. So, if that 24 hours is going to expire and that is a night, say after 6 p.m. or after the court hours, then the accused will be produced for a magistrate, and that place is also known as court. So, now the meaning of the court is where the judge is sitting, or where the judgment is delivered, or where the trial is done. There are some instances in which the accused persons are produced in the court after the court hours. Say example, court sitting is over. For example, an accused is produced after 3 o'clock, and the sitting of that court is already over. Sometimes the accused person is produced for the magistrate in his chamber. So, that chamber become a court. And in the High Court or in the Supreme Court, etc., there are benches. If a person is sitting as a judge, if only one judge is there, that is known as single judge. If there be more than one judge, that is known as bench. So, division bench, larger bench, full bench, constitutional bench. So, if there be more than one judge, it is known as bench, and if there be only one judge, it is known as single judge. So, the term court includes judge as well as judges, and wherever the judges sit and deliver justice, that can be termed as court. So, a larger meaning is given for court in the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita as well as in the Indian Penal Code. Section 2.5 of the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita. Death. Death means the death of a human being unless the contrary appears from the context. Section 46 of the Indian Penal Code. Death. The word death denotes the death of a human being unless the contrary appears from the context. Section 25 of the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita as well as Section 46 of the Indian Penal Code defines what is death. Here also, if a living creature dies, it is known as death in common parlance. But here in the law, Indian Penal Code as well as in the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, death denotes death of a human being unless the context makes otherwise or contrary intention is there in the context. So, generally speaking, wherever you find the term death, we have to understand that is the death of a human being. And in law, the death of a human being again can be segregated or differentiated. For example, if a human being dies, it is known as death. If a human being dies out of natural calamity, then also it is known as death. But if a human being is killed by an animal, then though it is death, then the owner of that animal can be made alive. If a human being kills himself, it is known in the law as suicide. And if a human being is killed by some other human being, it is known as homicide. And if that homicide is done with an intention to kill, with a motive, then it amounts to offense of murder and it is otherwise known as culpable homicide not amounting to murder. Any killing, if punishable, it is known as culpable. So, the term death has got a wide meaning in law. Generally speaking, death of a human being known as death, and if animal dies, it is not known as death unless the context requires otherwise. This is the general explanation of the term death. But if that is punishable, then it is known as either suicide or homicide or murder or as the case may dowry death or rash and negligent death or things like that. Section 2(6) of the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita. Dishonestly means doing of an act with the intention of causing the wrongful gain to one person or wrongful loss to the another person. Section 24 of the Indian Penal Code. Dishonestly. Whoever does anything with the intention of causing wrongful gain to one person or wrongful loss to the another person is said to do that thing dishonestly. Section 2(6) and Section 24 of the Indian Penal Code defines dishonestly. Normally we say that person is dishonest or not honest or that person is honest, something like that. What is meant by dishonest or doing dishonestly in the eye of law? In the eye of law, if a person causes a wrongful loss to a particular person and wrongful gain to another person, then it is defined as doing dishonestly. Just saying a thing, believing it to be true, and not causing any wrongful loss or causing any wrongful gain is not dishonest. For example, a person believes that Indira Gandhi died on 30th of October 1984. Actual date of death is 31st of October 1984. But he believed it to be October 30th. Can it be said that he is doing dishonest? No. He believed it to be true, but he did not have any other intention. And he did not even cause any wrongful loss to anyone or wrongful gain to anyone. Then it cannot be said that that person was dishonest. Or a person sharing a joke. Of course, he knows that it is not true, but he wanted to convey some idea or things like that, or giving a contingent situation or assumed situation or a romantic situation. For example, a storyteller or a writer makes a story. It is not true. It's only story. It is only his imagination. Can it be said that that person was acting dishonest? No. because he is not causing any wrongful loss to anyone or wrongful gain to anyone. He is making some imaginations, some making some art or a story or a novel or a movie, and it's only for entertainment. So such a situation also a person cannot be said to do dishonest or doing dishonestly. But if a person making some inducement to a person and get some money or valuable property or security, then it amounts to doing something dishonest. For example, cheating. A person say that I have got certain superhuman powers and I will heal your ailment and collect money, and finally he escaped that money, then it can be said that that person was doing with dishonest intention. So these are the certain examples or explanation regarding the definitions given in the Indian Penal Code. Your requests, your doubts, your clarifications, etc., you can address me so that I can answer that questions in the next episode. This episode will continue, this subject will continue in the next episode. See you in the next episode.